You know that feeling, right? That clear nudge from God, that sense that He's pointing you towards something more? It's an incredible feeling to hear that call. But actually acting on it, well, that's a whole different story. That's where the real transformation happens. And it's a struggle we all face. We hear the call, but man, do we hesitate to respond?
Because it's like clockwork, isn't it? The moment that call comes through, the whispers of doubt start flooding in, and the first one is always the loudest. What if I mess this up? What if I'm not good enough and I fall flat on my face? And then, of course, there's the timing issue. You know, that little voice that says, maybe I just need a little more training, or a little more prep time, maybe just one more sign to be sure. It's that classic, I'll do it when excuse that keeps us completely stuck.
But let's be real, the deepest fear, the one that really holds us back, is that nagging feeling of just not being enough. That question, who am I to do something great? That one can paralyze even the strongest among us.
So, this is the heart of the matter right here. The big challenge isn't really about hearing God's voice. For a lot of us, that part is surprisingly clear. The real battle is mustering up the courage to actually do what He says. See, it's never been about our qualifications. It has always been about our willingness.
To really see what this looks like in the real world, I want to tell you the story of a woman named Sharon. Her experience just perfectly captures this tension between hearing God's call and actually doing something about it.
So Sharon had this real passion for mentoring young women, and she felt God nudging her to start a small group. But all those doubts we just talked about, they came rushing in. She kept telling herself she was underprepared, so she read books, went to trainings, but she never actually took that first step. She was always waiting. And then one day, while she was waiting for yet another sign, a friend gave her this simple but totally profound piece of advice. And this was the light bulb moment. She realized the problem wasn't that God wasn't being clear. The problem was that she wasn't responding. The issue was her action, not His communication.
And just look at the incredible power that came from one simple yes. 1 month after that conversation, Sharon started small, just 3 young women. But look what happened. A year later, that single group had multiplied into 4. And today, lives are being totally transformed, all because she took one small obedient step. And this is what Sharon herself said about it. The blessing wasn't found on the sidelines or in all that endless preparation. The real breakthrough, the joy, the purpose, all of it was unlocked by that one simple act of obedience. Now, I'm guessing Sharon's story feels pretty familiar because her struggle is our struggle. So why? Why is it so hard to just step out? Let's really diagnose this hesitation by looking at the 3 core fears that hold us all back.
Okay, so first, there's that fear of failure we've been talking about. Then, there's the fear of what other people will think. You know, when we get more worried about public opinion than God's assignment. And finally, there's that deep-seated feeling of inadequacy, that constant, who am I to do this, that plays on a loop in our heads.
But here's the amazing thing. God has a direct answer for that feeling of inadequacy. This verse shows us that our weakness isn't a problem to be fixed, it's the very stage where His strength gets to shine. He isn't looking for people who are already ready, He's looking for people who are willing.
All right, so we've diagnosed the problem. Now for the good part. What's the prescription? How do we actually build the courage we need to obey? Let's get practical and look at 4 steps you can start taking, like today. First, start small. Seriously, big obedience is just a bunch of small yeses strung together. Second, move even if you feel afraid. Courage isn't about not feeling fear, it's about acting anyway. Third, and this is so important, constantly remind yourself who is with you. And fourth, surround yourself with people who build up your faith, not people who tear it down. It really all comes down to this internal battle, right? It's like you have 2 voices in your head. The voice of fear will always start its sentences with, what if? But the voice of faith responds with God's actual promise. And here's the secret. You get to choose which voice gets the microphone. And just to build on that 3rd step, reminding yourself who goes with you, this verse says it all. You are never, ever stepping out alone. When you really let that sink in, all those what-ifs from the voice of fear start to sound pretty small. And that brings us to the reward, the incredible outcome of choosing faith over fear. Let's talk about the blessing that gets unlocked when we finally just say, yes. Okay, lean in for this one because this is so important. Your growth, your purpose, your next level in life, it's not waiting for you in your comfort zone. It's not waiting for you to have all the answers. It is waiting for you directly on the other side of your obedience.
Think about it like this. It's a divine partnership. God isn't asking you to be fearless. He's just asking you to be faithful. Our job is to take the step. And when we do that, His job is to supply the strength we need for the journey.
And it just keeps going from there. Our part is simply to say yes to the call. And when we do that, in response to our faith, He's the one who swings open doors we could never have even knocked on by ourselves.
And finally, just like we saw in Sharon's story, when we choose to move, He is the one who brings the increase. He takes our small, shaky, faithful efforts and multiplies them into something that has an impact far beyond what we could ever imagine.
So it all comes down to this one question. Your obedience has the power to change everything, not just for you, but for the people around you. The future you're hoping for, the purpose you're searching for, it's all waiting for you on the other side of your yes. The only question left is, what will it be?
Want to start your week with power, peace, and purpose? Join the Affirm Your Greatness community, where faith meets mindset, all for just $9 a month or $50 a year. This is your space to speak life, grow boldly, and walk in God's promises. Affirm your greatness, speak life, live boldly.
Now available on Amazon.com. Unlock the transformative power of positive affirmations with this essential guide by certified personal development coach and motivational speaker, Dennis of DennisMotivates.com. In Affirm Your Greatness, you'll discover the science behind affirmations and learn how to craft personalized affirmations that resonate with your unique journey. Get your copy today. Find the link in the description. Thanks.